All right, you guys, it's me, Chase. This is No Chaser TV, where we keep it to you hot and fresh all the time. And I have the one, the only, the famous, the infamous Mia. Mia, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm really good. You look amazing. I got some things I want to ask you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, watching the reunion back, right? You only made it to through the first part, two parts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you didn't really get to address a lot. Stacey says, in regards to the infamous trip to Miami, Stacey says that she's not a liar. She doesn't lie. But on part three, there is a huge, shocking bombshell. Knowing that she says that she never lies and she called you a liar in regards to Miami, what do you think about what we're going to see in part three? Does that hold true?
Yeah. So I wasn't there. I left the building. But based off of what I know and what I've heard afterwards in conversations with her and what I've seen in previews, all I have to say is that anytime someone is like casting the blame, it's probably because they are themselves. So if you call me a liar, it's because you probably know what a liar looks like.
Catch that dirt. All right. Well, let's start off.
That's why I'm not offended. And that's just typical. That's the natural law. Like, whatever we see in other people, we see in ourselves, right? You have to identify with it. And I just think that, I'm never going to say that about any of these women because I know that that's not my truth. And I'm not going to ever degrade them to that level of saying that they're a liar or saying anything about them that I don't believe. But if I believe it, I'm going to say it, right? I will hold true to that.
Now, interesting you say you won't degrade women to that level. As you were saying at the reunion, you were probably at one of your lowest moments. Did you feel support from anyone outside of Jacqueline, which I'm sure she probably supported you, but anyone else in the group, were they there for you?
In hindsight, I have realized that I can't expect anyone who's never walked a day in my shoes to be able to understand the level of what I go through on a day-to-day basis. And so it was I did a poor job of explaining to these ladies that, hey, this is a season that I really need you guys to show up for me. I can't show up for myself right now, so I really need my girls to really rally around. But of course, obviously, they saw it as a moment of weakness and they preyed on it, and I'm good with it. It's a season I had to go through. Because it's a very real season. I'm sharing my real life. I don't make up storylines. So as you go through your real life, we all know that it ebbs and flows. And I don't want to pretend to be perfect in any platform that I do because I'm not perfect. But I will continue to rebound and strive and end up on top.
That's interesting you say you're not perfect. You're showing your real storyline. You and G just did a live. I watched it, and I learned so much more about you. Whether you wanted G to tell it or not, he told the story. And so what do you think, moving into season 10, if the show is renewed and you come back, what do you think season 10 holds for you moving forward?
So I honestly want to come back and I want everybody to see that we have gone through a storm. And that storm, there's now a rainbow and there's a pot of gold on the other side, honey. And, I feel like I also want people to know that it's okay to be vulnerable and to be authentically you and still be able to be a boss and a phenomenal mom and a powerhouse. And it's okay. Just because I'm all those things doesn't mean that I can't fumble. I like to say that my crown may tip a little bit, but honey, it doesn't fall off.
Thank you. Last question before we go. We have to ask, you mentioned women supporting women. Karen Huger, we've gotten the news. We've seen the trials and tribulations over the years. She brought you into the group. But as you mentioned, women supporting women, where do you stand in relation to her sentencing and your relationship with her moving forward, and any words that you have for her?
Yeah, so I do think that what's going on with Karen is unfortunate. I do feel like I have always wanted her to take accountability for her actions that she played. And, I never wanted her to go to jail, and I do feel that there's a lot of prayer that's needed. I'm concerned for her. I'm concerned for her safety. I'm concerned for her mental health, and I can't say that I'm not. I'm praying for her, praying for her family. And Gordon has reached out to Ray, and they're going to get together and have some lunch soon. So we are, at the end of the day, we care about each other. So I'm praying for Karen, and I want her to be okay, and I want her to come out on top.
I know that's right. Thank you so much, Mia. No Chaser TV. You guys have a good evening. Thank you.
You're amazing.